Loni Anderson has died, just days before what would have been her 80th birthday. The iconic actress, widely celebrated for her talent, beauty, and memorable roles, especially as Jennifer Marlowe in the hit CBS sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati, passed away at a hospital in Los Angeles. Her longtime publicist, Cheryl J. Kagan, confirmed the news, citing a prolonged illness as the cause of death. The loss has sent ripples through Hollywood and among fans around the globe, many of whom grew up watching her on their television screens or admired her from afar for her grace, wit, and presence. In a heartfelt statement, Anderson's family expressed their sorrow, saying, "We are heartbroken to announce the passing of our dear wife, mother, and grandmother." These words, though simple, hold a depth of love and grief that words can barely begin to convey. Loni wasn't just a star on screen, she was a beloved figure in her private life, remembered by her loved ones for her warmth, humor, and deep compassion. She leaves behind not just a career that spanned decades but a legacy that influenced generations. Born and raised in St. Paul, Minnesota, Loni K. Anderson discovered her love for performing at an early age. Her early years were marked by a combination of small-town charm and big-city dreams. Her beauty, even as a teenager, was striking, and she quickly found herself entering, and often winning, local beauty pageants. But Anderson's ambitions reached beyond modeling. She aspired to act. After attending the University of Minnesota, she began appearing in local theater productions, honing her skills and preparing for a future that would eventually lead her to Hollywood. Her journey wasn't instantaneous. Anderson faced numerous rejections and years of working smaller roles in both television and film before finally landing the role that would change her life forever. In 1978, she was cast as Jennifer Marlowe in WKRP in Cincinnati. Jennifer was the receptionist at a struggling radio station in Ohio, but she was no ordinary receptionist. Smart, elegant, funny, and unflappable, she quickly became a fan favorite. Anderson's portrayal shattered the typical dumb blonde stereotype, presenting instead a confident, capable woman who knew her worth and navigated the world with poise. The role catapulted Anderson into stardom. Over the show's four-season run from 1978 to 1982, she received 3 Golden Globe nominations and 2 Emmy nominations. Audiences admired her for her comedic timing, her expressive face, and the way she carried herself. She often played Jennifer with a subtle mix of knowing charm and benevolent detachment, understanding her allure but never using it cruelly. Women admired her confidence, men adored her presence. And everyone, it seemed, wanted more of Loni Anderson. In later interviews, Anderson reflected on the label of sex symbol that came with the role. In a 2021 interview with Fox News, she shared, "I never thought I would be Loni Anderson, sex symbol. But I embrace it. I think I was lucky enough to have been able to play so many different things, and sex symbol was a part of it. I took whatever my career threw at me." She spoke with pride, humor, and humility, qualities that continued to endear her to fans. "And my granddaughters think it's a hoot," she added, with a laugh that carried decades of wisdom. After WKRP in Cincinnati, Loni's career continued to flourish. She starred in a variety of television shows and films, showcasing her versatility. She appeared in dramas, comedies, and even animated features. Her most notable film role came in the 1983 action comedy Stroker Ace, which paired her with Burt Reynolds, one of the biggest box office draws of the time. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable, and soon, life began to mirror art. Their relationship captivated the public imagination. Together, Loni Anderson and Burt Reynolds represented the glitz and glamour of Hollywood romance. They were often photographed together at galas, red carpets, and charity events, always impeccably dressed and appearing very much in love. In 1988, the couple married in a secret ceremony at Reynolds Ranch in Jupiter, Florida. The wedding was covered extensively by the press, with People magazine documenting every detail. Reynolds, emotional and proud, told reporters, "I'm a very lucky man. I'm surrounded by love and dear friends, and I married my best friend." Today, Anderson, radiant in her wedding gown, beamed and said, "I feel like Cinderella. I married Prince Charming." At the time, the sentiment seemed sincere and heartfelt. Their union appeared to be a fairy tale come to life. They went on to adopt a son, Quentin, and appeared ready to take on parenthood and marriage as a team. But as time went on, cracks began to show. Beneath the polished exterior was a relationship riddled with differences, miscommunications, and, reportedly, darker elements. In 1994, after 6 tumultuous years, Anderson and Reynolds divorced in what became one of the most high-profile splits of the decade. Reynolds later spoke candidly about the marriage in a 2015 interview with People. He reflected with regret, saying, "It was a really dumb move on my part." He elaborated, "I should have known that you don't marry an actress. It wasn't lollipops and roses. These statements revealed the disillusionment and heartbreak that had settled in over time. In his memoir, But Enough About Me, Reynolds shared further grievances, detailing disputes over spending and lifestyle differences. He described Anderson as someone who embraced the Hollywood lifestyle with full fervor, reportedly saying, "She bought everything in triplicate and refused to wear a dress more than once if it had been photographed. She said, 'I have to dress like a star,'" he wrote. He also recounted giving her a platinum American Express card with a $45,000 credit limit, an amount she allegedly maxed out in under half an hour, but Anderson wasn't silent in the face of such claims. In a 1995 interview with SF Gate, she spoke openly about the darker aspects of their marriage. She alleged that Reynolds had physically abused her at least a dozen times and claimed that these incidents often occurred while he was under the influence of drugs. "Bert always said no one would ever believe me because he was Mr. Wonderful and the world loved him," she said, expressing the helplessness and fear she experienced. She also criticized him for failing to consistently pay the $15,000 in child support he owed, a financial dispute that dragged on for years. It wasn't until 2015, 2 decades after their divorce, that Reynolds reportedly wrote a check for $154,520, finally resolving the matter. Despite the personal turmoil and public scrutiny, Loni Anderson never allowed herself to be defined by that chapter of her life. She continued acting, taking on roles that allowed her to grow beyond the glamorous image she had been boxed into. She played mothers, businesswomen, and even voiced animated characters. Her career spanned television movies, guest appearances, and even reality shows, each role showcasing her ability to adapt and evolve. Away from the spotlight, Anderson became a dedicated advocate for health-related causes, especially around chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Having lost close family members to the disease, she used her platform to raise awareness, appearing at fundraisers and speaking out publicly to support research and education. Her later years were marked by quiet dignity and enduring beauty. Always impeccably styled, she remained true to her signature look: big blonde hair, elegant makeup, and sparkling attire. She was often seen at industry events, greeting fans, signing autographs, and supporting charitable causes. Friends and co-stars remember her as warm, funny, and incredibly professional. Despite the challenges she faced, both personal and professional, Loni Anderson remained a beacon of perseverance and authenticity. Her influence reached far beyond the television screen. She inspired women to stand tall, to be proud of their femininity, and to never settle for less than what they deserved. The tributes have poured in from all corners of the entertainment world. Fellow actors, producers, fans, and friends have taken to social media to express their sorrow and share fond memories. Many have highlighted her trailblazing role in WKRP in Cincinnati as a turning point in the representation of women in media. Though she is gone, her spirit lives on in every role she played and every person she inspired. Loni Anderson wasn't just an actress, she was a symbol of resilience, empowerment, and the enduring magic of television. Her journey, from the small stages of Minnesota to the bright lights of Hollywood, serves as a reminder that grace under pressure, strength in adversity, and unwavering passion for one's craft are the true measures of greatness.